As long as you've got your Honda Smart Key with you, as soon as you're within a few feet of the bike, the electrical system becomes activated and you can open your trunk, you can open the saddlebag lids, you can even walk up and turn your ignition on, start the bike and ride off without ever having to reach for the key. But what if the battery inside your Smart Key dies? Or maybe the key gets lost or stolen or it gets damaged in some way? How are you going to start your motorcycle? I mean, let's say you're on a road trip and you don't have a backup Smart Key with you. You walk out to your bike and you turn on the ignition, nothing happens. You try to open the trunk or the saddlebags, once again, nothing happens. That is a very unsettling feeling.
This video is sponsored by Cruiseman's Garage Honda Goldwing Maintenance Video Series.
Fortunately, Honda engineers took this into consideration when designing the Goldwing and built in an emergency start procedure. So in this video, I'm going to show you the steps necessary to start your Honda Goldwing without a Smart Key. Now please watch this video to the very end because I'm going to give you some very important additional tips. To perform the emergency start procedure requires the following. No functioning Smart Key can be within the vicinity of the motorcycle, and both saddlebag lids must be open. First, you must remove the small black plastic panel that covers a lock, which will allow us to open the left saddlebag. You may be able to get your fingertips under the bottom edge of this cover and simply pull out to remove it. It's only held in place with a few plastic tabs. Now I'm going to use the small flathead screwdriver that's built into my Swiss Army knife to lift up one edge of this plastic panel. Of course, you want to be careful not to scratch anything. Basically, you get it between the taillight lens and the panel and you just carefully lift up. You can pry out the first couple of those little plastic tabs that hold the panel in place. Here you can see I've been able to get just a couple of those tabs to release, and once you do, you can simply grab this panel with your fingers and just kind of pry it out and pop it off. Once the cover is removed, you can see the lock which we can use to open the left saddlebag door using your emergency key. Now the emergency key is normally stored inside your Honda Smart Key. You can see the edge of it there. There's a tiny narrow button on the left side of the Smart Key, and when you press that button, it will release the key. If you're not holding your finger over that key, it could just fly off into space. So be careful when you pop this out, because if you're on the side of the road and your emergency key goes flying off into the grass, you might spend a long time hunting for the emergency key. The key also goes back into the Smart Key only in one direction. As you can see here, it just won't go in. You have to turn it the right way, and it is spring-loaded. So if you hold your finger over the key while you press on that little release button, you can keep it from flying out into unknown territory. You'll use this emergency key to unlock and open the left saddlebag. You may need to pull on it to get it to open. Once the left saddlebag is open, if you look at the very top toward the rear, you'll find a little release cable for the right saddlebag. And if you pull on that cable, your right saddlebag lid will also open and you can replace that little cable on its post, as I'm doing here. Your Honda Goldwing electrical system is continually monitoring for the presence of a working Smart Key, and it can also detect when the saddlebag lids are open. If no key is detected and the saddlebag lids are open, it is ready to accept the emergency start procedure. We're going to use the red start button and the button on your side pocket door to enter a sequence of numbers which will unlock the emergency start procedure. Every Honda Goldwing Smart Key comes with an emergency code tag like the one shown here. We're going to use the 9-digit number, which is just above the QR code, and enter that into the Goldwing electrical system so that we can start the motorcycle. You'll notice I've blurred out some of the numbers as well as the QR code because I don't want somebody to have access to my emergency start number. Also, if your Goldwing came with 2 smart keys and 2 unique emergency start codes, either of these codes can be used to start the motorcycle. We're going to enter each number of that code using the pocket door button. We'll press this button however many times we need to enter the appropriate number. For example, if we want to enter the number 4, we'll press the door button 4 times. Then to set that number in the system, we'll press the start button. Once we set that number in the system, we'll repeat the same process for every number in the code. Let's begin the emergency startup procedure by pressing and holding the start button for 4 seconds until you hear a beep. That beep tells you the emergency start procedure is underway, and you will have 20 seconds to enter the first number in the sequence. In our case, the first number is a 1. So after pressing the pocket door button once, I'll press the start button. The motorcycle will beep 1 time after each successful entry. The second number in the code is 4, so I'll press the pocket door button 4 times, then press the start button again. I'm going to continue entering all of the numbers in the emergency code in the same manner. When I get to the 0, I'll show you how we enter that number. If you do have a 0 in your emergency code, simply press the start button another time and hear the beep, and that will enter the 0. After you enter the last number in the code successfully and press the start button, your electrical system should turn on and you can now start the motorcycle. If you make a mistake during the code entry, simply wait 20 seconds and allow the system to reset. You'll hear a beep and the system will reset itself so you can start over. So now I'm going to give you some additional tips to make this much easier. There are quite a few steps to remember in the emergency start procedure, so I've created an emergency start procedure checklist that you can print out and keep on your motorcycle. I'm going to put a link in the description of this video where you can fill out a simple form, and I'll send you a link to a PDF file that you can print out and keep on your Goldwing just in case of an emergency. My second tip is I recommend that you take a photo of your smart key tag with your smartphone so that you always have that number with you. That way, if you lose your smart key, you'll still have the number. But wait, if you lose your smart key or if your smart key gets stolen, you would not have the emergency key to unlock the left saddlebag. Therefore, I also recommend keeping this key in your wallet or on your keychain and not in the smart key itself. You can also purchase a second emergency key blank from your Honda dealer or an online parts reseller and then have that key cut to match your original emergency key at any hardware store. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video and got some value out of it. And if you did, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up. That really does help my YouTube channel. And don't forget to watch the next video where I'm going to show you how to replace the battery in your smart key.